Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the graduating class of 2025, I would like to welcome everyone to this evening's ceremony. At this point, I will pause for a brief moment of reflection. Now please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Gentlemen, will you please remove your hats? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for the playing of our national anthem, performed by the Chestnut Ridge Band. Thank you. You can now be seated. I would now like to introduce this evening's Senior Six speakers. Our first speaker will be the man, the myth, the legend. It's Benjamin Robert John Forsheet.
Thank you, Parker. I don't care what you do, just make sure you love doing it. These are words my mother has repeatedly told me throughout my entire life. So at an early age, I put these words into action. At 14, I started working at a Boy Scout camp, teaching STEM merit badges to younger kids. Each summer, I continued to return, and each summer was better than the last. Because I love the topics, because I love teaching, and because I love scouting, the job wasn't a job at all. It was a fun way to be me and get paid at the same time. I continued to follow these words as I got older and needed a second job during the winter. I've always loved skiing and challenging myself while doing it. I started as a ski instructor and learned much more than I ever could imagine. Being there gave me leadership skills and teaching experience I can use for the rest of my life. It connected me with people who I never would have gotten the chance to meet if I hadn't taken the job. So once again, because I love the topics, because I love teaching, and because I love skiing, the job wasn't a job at all. Now, as I'm moving on to college, I've chosen to go into electrical engineering to follow my own passions. Since I've always loved working with my hands and creating new things, I feel that this is my path to a fun career that will last me for life. If you choose to live working a job you hate, working will feel like working. If you pick a job that makes you happy, it will change your perspective on working forever. Don't continue doing what makes you feel like homework for life. Break the mold and be different. Now, as we all take our next step on our own paths, choose what makes you happy. Find the job that makes you say, it wasn't a job at all, and because I love. Thank you. Next, we'll have the one, the only, Owen Danger Osmond.
Thanks, Ben. I was asked to give one piece of advice to you all, and let me start off by saying that isn't the easiest thing to do. I'm not going to come up here and tell you guys to follow your dreams or reach for the stars or really anything of that nature. My advice is simpler, easier, and a little bit less cliche. Just show up for people. You ask any of your parents or bosses, or even some of your classmates, they're not going to be able to tell you their grade from their 10th grade English class. They won't be able to tell you the best they've ever done in a Keystone test. What they can tell you is who was there for them when their life was going in a little different direction than they'd hoped. They'll be able to tell you who they were always chill with and who they always had the best experience with. Showing up for people is one of the simplest yet most meaningful things you can do for people. I'm not talking about being somebody's personal therapist or hovering around them whenever they're not feeling their hottest. Send someone a "you good" text whenever they've been out for a couple days. Watching a Steelers game with your friend whenever he's recovering from a surgery. Even just letting that one person borrow your charger every day, even when it annoys you just that little bit. Showing up doesn't mean solving somebody's problems, it means noticing them. Being the person that isn't necessarily the one everybody needs to talk to when they have a problem, but simply being there just in case somebody has one. So in a couple weeks or months, whenever we're all following our life path, nobody cares why you got yelled at by Z for getting in the breakfast line a little too late, or whatever your face got super red during a speech. But they will remember when you stuck up for them when they were having a bad day, and whenever you checked in on them because they were looking a little down. So I'm giving you the simplest and easiest advice I can. Show up for people, even if you're tired, even if it's inconvenient, because someday you might need somebody to show up for you. Thank you. Now introducing the woman herself, Grace Lask.
Thank you, Owen Danger. Today is a celebration, a milestone, a moment that marks the end of one chapter and the thrilling, unknown beginning of the next. To my fellow classmates, we did it. We overcame every sleepless night, every early morning, and more homework than anyone should ever have to do. Our time together has come to an end, but as we step into the next chapter of our lives, I would like to leave you with my biggest piece of advice: be kind. While kindness seems like a simple gesture, its impact can go a long way. In a world that can feel overwhelming and chaotic at times, a small act of kindness can turn someone's day around. You do not truly know what the person next to you is going through, so choose kindness. Kindness does not show weakness, but courage. It is having patience when you know you are running out of time. It is talking gently when you are frustrated. It is listening, not just to respond, but to understand. It is asking, "How are you?" and sticking around to truly hear the answer. A moment of compassion can be the difference in someone giving up or trying again. Kindness makes people feel heard, seen, and valued. I've been fortunate to experience many acts of kindness from the teachers at our school. Whether it was Miss Romano always offering me a place to hang out when I was having a tough day, or Mr. Cooper never failing to remind me to keep smiling when we crossed paths in the hallway. These small gestures have had a lasting impact on me. Just like their kindness made a difference in my life, you have the power to make a difference in someone else's. I may not know what a limit is in calculus, but I do know there is no limit to the kindness you can spread. In your future careers, be kind. Whether you are the boss or the person at the bottom, choose kindness. People do not remember your accomplishments in life, but they will remember how you made them feel. I'm not saying it will always be easy, but it will always be worth it. Small gestures, such as holding the door for someone, complimenting someone, or simply just listening when someone needs to talk, can create a positive atmosphere. If you see someone struggling, go be the reason for them to smile. Never be the reason someone isn't smiling, because my fellow graduates, you are never fully dressed without a smile. So go, be courageous, chase your dreams, but never forget to do all you do with kindness. P.S. Kindness is free. Thank you. I would now like to introduce the kindest girl I know, Natalie Shore.
Thank you, Grace. Today, as we celebrate the end of all we've ever known, I want to share a piece of advice that I believe will be crucial for our new beginning. This is to be yourself. In a world that often tries to mold us into something we are not, it is essential that we embrace our true selves. Each and every one of us have our unique traits, experiences, and goals that shape us into who we are. This creates individuality that sets us apart from others and makes us special. Please do not be afraid to express your thoughts, pursue your passions, and follow your own path. As we move forward throughout this next chapter of our lives, whether it be college or the workforce, there will be pressure to conform, to fit in, and meet these expectations set for us. It is easy to get caught up in the desire to fit in or follow the paths laid out by others. I urge you to resist falling into this temptation. Remember, every great achievement made in history was done from someone trying to be different. I was once tasked with trying to define the word normal. The best definition a friend and myself could come up with is normal is boring. So be your true self with no fears of judgment. Break out in your favorite dance move, crack a dad joke, and have fun being yourself and doing what you love. Surround yourself with people who celebrate your authenticity and support your dreams, but also trust in your own abilities and believe in your own worth. So as we step into this next chapter of our lives, let's promise to honor our true selves, to embrace our quirks, and to live authentically. Congratulations, class of 2025. Let's step out into the real world and be the incredible individuals we are meant to be. Thank you. I'm now going to hand it over to Cale Harrison.
Thank you, Natalie. As most of you know, I've had some unfortunate medical problems throughout my high school career. During my sophomore year of football, I tore my ACL and had to get surgery later that fall. The morning after my surgery, I stood up to get out of bed and felt an eerie feeling rush over my body as my room was getting darker and darker around me. As everything went black, I luckily fell into my dad's arms as he was walking past my room. In this moment of darkness, a glowing light in the shape of a person appeared, and I heard the following words spoken to me. "Don't be afraid, I will help you." A few seconds later, a hand reached out and touched my forehead. My ears began to ring, and I woke up on the floor in my dad's arms and my mom on the phone with 911. Through this experience, I carried these simple words that were spoken to me through high school, and I'm glad to share this advice with everyone here. Do not be afraid. This phrase it says approximately 365 times in the Bible, one for each day in a year. As we continue with our lives after graduation, there are countless challenges that we must face. Whichever direction we go, whether that is attending college, going to a trade school, serving our country, or heading straight to the workforce, it is important to understand the great opportunities that come with the uncertainty. We shouldn't be afraid to tackle our next chapter in life, but we should embrace it instead. We should go into the next chapter of our lives fearlessly and not afraid that we might fail. Fear prevents us from being the best person we can be and accomplishing things that we are all capable of doing in our lives. The uncertainty may be scary to some of us, but do not be afraid to go into the next journey in your life. Thank you. I'm now handing it over to Miss Ella Weiston.
Thank you, Phil. Nobody cries at a funeral because the world is missing out on another pretty face. They cry because the world is missing another heart, another soul, another person. Brianna Weist. Now that might be a bit morbid for graduation, but I hope I caught your attention. There's a reason I chose to read this quote tonight. The world doesn't care about your outward appearance. The world won't remember you for your job title, your Instagram bio, or even that one TikTok you swear should have gone viral. But the world does remember us for the way we made other people feel. Lately, there's one question we've all been asked 100 times. What are you going to do next? And we've all come up with answers. College, jobs, military, maybe a well-deserved nap that lasts until fall. But the truth is that question, what are you going to do, is very different from the question, who are you going to be? And that question, who are you going to be, that's the one we really need to focus on. Because life isn't just about building a resume. It's about building character. It's not about how many likes we get. It's about how many lives we touch. The truth is, the most unforgettable people aren't the ones with the flashy titles or the impressive list of achievements. They're the ones who lead with compassion, the ones who show up, the ones who make others feel heard, safe, and valued. They're the people who hold the door, who check in on a friend, who make someone laugh when they really need it, even if it's with a terrible dad joke or an embarrassing story about a failed belly button piercing. So I ask you, who are you going to be when no one's watching? When things get hard, when someone around you needs a little extra kindness or a reason to smile. As we head out into the world with big dreams, some student debt, and hopefully a decent playlist, don't forget the most important thing that you bring with you, yourself. Be the kind of person the world doesn't just notice, but misses when they're gone. Because that's the legacy we leave. Not the things we do, but the way we made people feel along the way. Success isn't about making a name for ourselves. It's about being someone others are glad they know. So instead of focusing on what we're going to do next, let's focus instead on who we are going to be. Because at the end of the day, you aren't a human doing, you are a human being. Thank you.
Great speeches there. Would now like to introduce Mr. Kyle Kane, Superintendent of the Chestnut Ridge School District. He would like to make a few remarks.
Did you notice I didn't get any kind of cool handshake? I'm out of the cool club. Cross the line. This is a serious bunch. You are a serious bunch. I'm thinking, smile a little bit. It's a good night here. Let's loosen up. Get your phone out and get a picture or four. Quick. I'm being serious. This only happens once, guys. You don't. Thank you, Thomas. You may have to take it for the whole group. I wanted to just take a quick moment and share a couple stories with you, and hopefully something will stick. If it doesn't, don't worry, I'm not going to be long, so at least you have that going for you. When I was a kid, my uncle gave me some baseball and football cards. They were mostly from 1970 and 1971. I was excited, but I really didn't have any idea what I had. I had a cousin who was a good bit older than me. He knew exactly what I had. And so there's going to be times in your life that you don't really understand the value of things, and I certainly didn't at that time. So to give you an idea of how a person can get confused with this, that would be like having $100 bill and exchanging it for 10 $1 bills, because they're the same shape, they're the same color, they're the same paper, but they have completely different value. So you can probably guess where I'm going with this story. In the early 1980s, and for those of you in the crowd, this will mean something. You may just feel about as sick as I do today. I traded 5 cards for 1, so I felt like I made a good deal. Unfortunately, the one was a Burt Blyleven rookie card. That means something to some of you. You guys are young, it doesn't. I got 5 more cards for a Johnny Bench card. Not good. Yeah, I still feel it too, folks in the crowd. So as we sit here, some of you understand how valuable you are. Some of you are still trying to figure that out. In fact, some of you also realize how valuable those around you are. And some of you are still trying to figure that out. But as we heard earlier here, and well done, 15 years from now, when you come back for a class reunion or come into a class reunion, you're not going to remember people by how high they could jump, or who was good at math, or who had really nice teeth. You're going to remember people by how they treated you. That's how you're going to remember people. When we realize the value of something, we treat it in a way that reflects that value. Piece of advice number 1, value people, including yourself. Don't buy the lie that there are people who are not worth your very best, including yourself. Story number 2. In the early 1940s, there was a stockbroker in London who was planning to go on a ski trip to Switzerland. His name was Nicholas Winton. I had never heard of Nicholas Winton. When he got to Prague, he changed his mind and went to Prague. When he got to Prague, he saw all these families trying to flee from the Nazis. And so he decided to do something about it and started organizing trains to get these kids back to England. He forged documents. He begged people to take these kids in, working day and night, and he was able to rescue 669 kids. He told nobody. His wife didn't even know. If you get a chance to look this up, Nicholas Winton, it's an amazing story. Today, there's thousands and thousands of generations that owe their lives to him because he didn't just see a problem, he left it better than he found it. Quietly, boldly, completely. Hopefully you don't face any situations as dramatic as Winton did, but you're going to face choices every day. Piece of advice number 2, leave it better than you found it. When you walk into a room where decisions are being made, leave them more fair. You'll enter friendships, leave them more trusting. When you face challenges, leave them with solutions. You're going to inherit problems you didn't cause, leave them with progress. And when the work is hard, do it anyway. Class of 2025, you're not just the future, you're the builders of it. So as I conclude, 2 pieces of advice. Value people and leave it better than you found it. God bless.
Thank you, Mr. Kane. Mr. William Pataki, President of the Chestnut Ridge School Board, would now like to make a few remarks.
Good evening, students, families, faculty, administration, and honored guests. As a school board president, I stand before you tonight, honored and privileged to acknowledge the remarkable achievements and accomplishments of the class of 2025. To the graduates, on behalf of the entire Board of Education, congratulations to each and every one of you. You did it. Your graduation is not only a milestone, but it's a launching pad. Today marks the end of one chapter of your life and begins another. A chapter of infinite possibilities, adventures, challenges, and opportunities for personal growth and fulfillment. As you take the next step, whether it be going to college, whether it be going through a career or joining the military or another journey entirely, one thing is certain: life as you know it is about to change. Tonight, the theme is a bit of advice. And now is the time in your life when you're probably receiving all types of advice from family and friends. Maybe sometimes a bit more than you care to hear. But remember, you're getting that advice, especially from your family, because they care about you. They love you. They want you to be successful. They don't want to see you make the same mistakes that they made. As the final speaker in tonight's ceremony, I want to leave you with 3 guiding ideas that I hope you'll consider and you carry for the rest of your life. First, never give up. There's going to be moments when life gets hard, when doors seem closed. But remember, everything you've gone through to get here to this point has helped build your strength. You've already proven that you can persist. You've dealt with things such as late night studying, going through a global pandemic, experiencing adversity on athletic fields, balancing various obligations and responsibilities. Heck, for some of you that came off the rails a time or two, you even survived Principal Zanansky. So when things get tough, remember the grit that got you here and keep pushing forward. You're going to experience failure at times. Everybody does. When things get tough, don't let that be the end of your story. Let it be your reason to push harder. Resilience is not about bouncing back, but it's about rising stronger every time you fall. Second, believe in yourself. As I stand up here and look around, I see some faces brimming with confidence. I also see faces that seem a bit unsure. You're not quite sure what the future holds. But I'll tell you, each and every one of you has more potential than you realize right now. You built a foundation here at Chestnut Ridge through academic achievements, athletic triumphs, and artistic creations. You grew up in a community where God, family, friends, and kindness are still important and matter. And this has molded you into the outstanding individuals that you are. Trust your instincts, trust your talents, but most importantly, trust that you belong in every single room that you choose to enter. You all have a unique voice, you all have a purpose, and you all have a future that is yours to shape. So don't let doubt or the opinions of others dim your confidence. Remember, the world needs you and your future achievements. And finally, never stop learning. Your Chestnut Ridge diploma is not the finish line. It is a new starting point. Your education is far from over. Learning is not confined to classrooms, textbooks, laptops, Google, but it's also from your conversations, your travels, your mistakes, and your passions. Stay curious, ask questions, keep growing. You know, the most successful people in this world are not those that think that they know everything or know all the answers, but rather those who seek out new answers. Remember, knowledge is the ultimate power multiplier. Class of 2025, you are ready. You have the tools, character, and courage to take on the world ahead of you. So don't be afraid to take bold steps. Don't be afraid to pursue your dreams. But remember, your roots here in this community that have cheered you on and supported you from the very beginning. On behalf of the Chestnut Ridge School Board and administration, we are proud of each and every one of you. Go forward with confidence. Never give up, believe in yourself, and never stop learning. Thank you. At this time, it is my distinct honor to present the Barefoot Community Service Award. This is the only award the school board presents at the graduating ceremony. It is given in honor of the late Dr. James Barefoot, who served for many years on the school board. It is presented to the senior student who has done the most to aid the community. Our honor this year has spent many hours volunteering with the Shawnee Valley Fire Department. We are honored this year with this recipient, Luke Ferguson.
Thank you. And now, Mr. Eric Cisnansky, principal of the Chestnut Ridge Senior High School, will recommend the class of 2025 for their diplomas.
Friends, relatives, students, faculty, school board members, and Mr. Kane, I have checked the records and found that these members of the class of 2025 have successfully completed all the requirements set forth by the Pennsylvania Department of Education and the Chestnut Ridge Board of School Directors. I therefore declare the class of 2025 eligible for graduation. At this time, it is my privilege to introduce to you the 2025 salutatorian, Natalie Short. It is my honor to present to you the valedictorian for the class of 2025, Ella Weissong. Zachary Allen Baldinger. Connor John Banks. Madison Rose Buteman, National Honor Society, High Honors. Tristan Alexander Boyce. Donald Gabe Brown. Kelsey Ann Calhoun, honors. Kyler Jeremiah Pauley. Logan Percy Clare. Preston Lynn Clark. Owen Scott Playbill, honors. Lacey Joe College. Skylar Lawrence College. Joseph Elijah Cox. Isaiah Frederick Crocker, high honors. Kalia Sparkle Day, National Honor Society, high honors. Camden Roy Dodson. Olivia Ryan Dodson. Justin Eli Dahl. Aaliyah Amory Bagley. Xander Boyd Fopple. Becky Aldine Feather. Luke James Ferguson. Emma May Flegel. Brooke Renee Fulton. Colby Callion Gardner, high honors. Jeannie Evelyn Gilbert. Jerica Isabel Gomez Campos. Austin Matthew Gorsuch. Storm Lee Gunther. Cassidy Nicole Hall. Abigail Yvonne Harbaugh. Luke Andrew Hemming. Adeline Nadine Henderson. Leah Ali Herman, National Honor Society, high honors. Michaela Marie Hedrick. Addison Lane Horn, high honors. McKenna Jordan Hughes, honors. Aaron Michael Ickes, honors. Zachary Glenn Imler. Brody Michael Kissel. Morgan Star Nab. Chloe Nicole Nisley, honors. Thomas Kevin Kostenbacher, honors. Aaron Noel Kutzmanich. Bentley Nicole Lancaster. Hunter John Lancaster, National Honor Society, high honors. Callie Lee Leopard. Kaylin Mariah Lord, National Honor Society, honors. Mason Travis Mayer. Jenna Morgan Mock, National Honor Society, high honors. Brody Ryan McDonald. Corey Anlin McGee. Jada Catherine McGill, National Honor Society, high honors. Abigail Grace Miller, honors. Mason Daniel Miller, honors. Natalie Sky Miller. Nolan Derek Miller. Shawnee Sudan Mitchell, honors. Alexis Marie Monroe. Brittany Nicole Motter, honors. Mary Eliza Muir, honors. Easton Riley Mall, National Honor Society, high honors. Rayleigh Denise Myers. Cole Alexander Nicodemus. Caden Chad Nicodemus. Lane Thomas Oldham. Addison Grace Osmond. Elena Leanne Parks, National Honor Society, honors. Scarlett Viola Marie Paraski. Megan Marie Wesley, high honors. Landon Thomas Rogers. Ethan Michael Rose. Christopher Keith Ross, high honors. Racy Lynn Sherman, National Honor Society, high honors. Nicole Rose Shippey. Maddox Paul Sipe. Hannah Marie Smith. J. Martin Stifler. Aiden Charles Strayer. Briella K. Taylor, honors. Elizabeth Jade Taylor. Hayden John Webb, National Honor Society, high honors. Justin Scott Weissong, high honors. Jasmine Elizabeth Yingling. Ella Dennis Weissong, National Honor Society, high honors. Cale Dean Harrison, National Honor Society, high honors. Natalie Elizabeth Short, National Honor Society, high honors. Grace Catherine Lazar, National Honor Society, High Honor. Owen Danger Osmond, National Honor Society, High Honors. Benjamin Robert John Forshee, National Honor Society, High Honors. Parker Dennis Livingston. As a prelude to my last official act with this group of students, I would like to express my gratitude to each individual who made the class of 2025 an outstanding one. Now, by the authority vested in me by the Chestnut Ridge School Board of Directors and the Pennsylvania Department of Education, I declare you graduates of Chestnut Ridge High School.
It's closing time, ladies and gentlemen. About time to get out of here, but you know what? You got one more speech to listen to, so stay here a couple more minutes. I'm honored to come before you as your 2025 class president. And as your president, I'll be the first to say, I don't think I'm ready to graduate. The reality of it hasn't fully sunk in for me. It's only been in the last few weeks that I've really started to understand what this all means. If you stop and think about it, this could be the last time we see many of the people we've spent years getting to know. Aside from a run-in at the dollar store, where it's going to be super awkward, I'm not going to see half these people ever again. And for some of you, you know what? Maybe that's a dream come true. But see, here's the funny thing about life. We can all experience the same exact moment and walk away with completely different feelings. Some of us are excited. Some are terrified. Some are clinging to every last second. And others have been emotionally packed and ready to go since junior year. You see, the thing is, it's all about your perspective. Something I've taken from high school is that your mindset is one of the only things you can truly control. Obstacles are inevitable. Mistakes are made in every part of your life. Just ask my good friend, Aaron Ickes. On a hot summer evening, Aaron and his friends, including me, thought it would be a great idea to light some fireworks. You can already see where this is going. This idea blew up right in Aaron's face. Literally. Aaron's hair was completely singed, and he couldn't see for a good minute or two. Yet Aaron still walked into school the next day with a big smile and a freshly shaved head. So what's my point of this story? No, it's not that Aaron's a complete knucklehead. It's that your mindset changes everything. You can't change the wind, but Chestnut Ridge, you can adjust those sails. Just like with Aaron, life will throw things at you that you don't expect. Although you don't get the choice whether to face these challenges, you do get to choose how you react. So friends, family, faculty, and most importantly, the class of 2025, hear me well on this day. Hate has 4 letters, but so does love. Enemies has 7 letters, but so does friends. Pride has 3 letters, but so does joy. You can always pick a side. Make sure you pick the right one. You change your mindset, you change everything. So go out there and be your best self, Chestnut Ridge. Congratulations. Thank you.